Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the course. I hope you are enjoying the course so far and you are now about to start your own project work where you will apply 4 different methods that you are going to learn in the upcoming lectures and also tutorials. The first one is, I would say, the most simple one. I think it's very straightforward. Anyone can be familiar to use that. So don't be afraid. The method and tool you are going to hear from this specific lecture. It's about capturing important aspects of a PSS offering. Okay? Although I have been using the term modeling, it might sound unfamiliar to some of you. So, but it's about description of important aspects, important elements of a PSS offering. And then I have explained to you in multiple occasions so far, the time dimension is critical in PSS when it's designed. Yeah? So that aspect will be addressed, and you are going to learn that. Before going to those important aspects of this lecture, I would like to first sort of summarize the essence of PSS design, especially in contrast to traditional product design. So here on the left-hand side of the slide, you see Pearl and Bytes design methodology or design framework. Have you heard of Pearl and Bytes? No? Okay, so good. So just to recap, for your recap, it's a sort of, it's described as stepwise, but allowing iterations in between the steps, starting with the analysis of the problems and the tasks, and establishing function structures, and finding working principles, and then combining them to for comparison. And then after running through the procedure, designers should come up with a solution that is considered the best to fit the identified problems. So our team has done a comprehensive literature review based on the literature about PSS design. We have managed to distill the essence of PSS design, not only from our group, but also mainly from other groups, I would say. We are one of the groups. And so you are now seeing in the middle the 5 distilled essences. Most of them, I would say, I have already explained. Functionality or value-oriented designing, coupled with the value proposition and identification of relevant actors, and then integration of different elements is an important. And in combination with integration, it's always important to make a good balance between different elements. No? Otherwise, the integration doesn't make sense. So these are the 5 essences we found from literature. And then what we did, in order to come up with sort of common procedure for PSS design, we basically poured these essences into the Pearl and Bytes procedure. Then we came up with these 10 steps in a sequence. So this shouldn't be surprised, no? In any way, because you see we made a couple of these first two steps of Pearl and Bytes, and then we applied these PSS design essence to come up with these first 3 steps of PSS design procedure. And then that applies to the other parts. This particular lecture focuses on the first 4 steps of the PSS design procedure. We call it PSS design schema because we see that as a sort of meta procedure that can be applied to more concrete PSS design procedure. It's a matter of terms, but you can call it as a procedure also. You might remember, I mean, those 10 steps can be described in this. It's a matter of representation. And then this was the procedure that was used in the experiment I explained in the other lecture. We tried this, and then we confirmed the effect of applying this together with the practitioners. So this has an effect to improve the level of systems thinking. So that is what I explained. And then again, so we are focusing in this lecture for the first 4 steps. Another thing I want to sort of share with you is the contents that I have been sharing with you in this whole lecture course is based on engineering design, thinking and theories and methods. And if you look at the real world, business world, that is only a part. Right? And then there are other disciplines, other thinkings, other thoughts, other schools, such as business administration, management, entrepreneurship, etc. And then I am showing this table taken from Sarasvati, 2001. She wrote a very useful, from my opinion, paper comparing 2 sort of inherently different types of processes for coming up with some sort of design solutions. So what is common is through either of these processes, people can come up with a solution. Okay? And one is called causation process, and the other is called effectuation process. And then what this course is relatively focusing on is on the left-hand side, causation process. So meaning that effectuation process is not the main focus, and I will give you more explanation regarding the contrast between the two. So in the causation process, an effect is given, and then designers will aim to list all the possible measures, means, and then make comparison, and then decide what's the best solution for the given effect. Whereas in the through the effectuation process, I would say the direction of thinking is rather the opposite. So they tend to start with the measures available already now at their hands, okay? And then they start with what is possible with the available measures. So the thinking direction is rather the opposite to each other. As an example, thinking about sort of engineering designer, he or she receives a task, and then sort of expected effect is also given. So this is the task, and then solve this task. And then he or she will sort of make a list of available means, and then make a sort of comparison. That is following the causation process. On the other hand, in the effectuation processes, an example could be like a guy has a great idea, building upon, let's say, unique knowledge or unique person or unique organization, whatever, something unique. And then he or she starts to think of, okay, what could be done based on this to make business out of it? And then So, so think about possible effects based on the available measures. So these are quite in contrast with each other. But perhaps more importantly in this course, there are something in common in between both of the different types of the thought processes. So I hope the lessons learned from this course will be applied not only for the causation processes that you may take in the future, but also in the other type of thinking process effectuation as well. For example, like thinking about new businesses or doing some sort of helping entrepreneurship, things like that through the right-hand side. So if you are interested, I highly recommend you to read this paper because then you will, I think, better understand what the learning outcomes of this course could be applied to the effectuation process. By reading that paper, you will have a better understanding if you are interested in. Okay, so now let's start with what to model, what to describe. One question, first of all, to everyone. In product development, product design, what is usually modeled? What is usually described?
The physical
Yeah.
object.
Yes, the physical object with what parameters? Design parameters. More concretely speaking? Dimensions, that's one. Yes, good answer. More? Dimensions are enough? Material selection, yes. Materials are enough? And dimensions? Requirements, yes. Requirements for the object, yes. Technology used. Oh, yeah, good answer. Okay, good. I think that is what I was expecting you to have already known. So these are the parameters, let's say, design parameters that should be sort of filled or given value to. So the question now, then I'm quite sure that you have seen this kind of presentation showing sort of morphological matrix. On the horizontal axis, you see those parameters you saw on the previous slide, function and principle and technologies and like that. And then you list up possible alternatives for each parameter. And then you make combination following Palanbyte's thinking process. So now the question is, what are equivalent parameters in the context of PSS? When a PSS is being designed, what should be modeled? What should be described? What are the parameters for the PSS under question? So this is the question, and for the lectures so far, you have heard various aspects that could answer to this question. And so the method you're addressing from now, which is called a layer method, will give a suggestion for that question. So this method suggests these 9 parameters, and they call them 9 layers. And the intention of this method is that this can be used in the early phase. So it's basically for qualitative description of the 9 layers. And also, once you finish the description of a PSS using this scheme, then you will come up with a design of basic architecture for the solution. the benefits are, for example, this kind of framework is good for systematic documentation, sharing the information between the project members and also among the different development generations. And another benefit feature of this method is the customer view and also provider view are combined in one. So I will go through one by one. The first layer is called customer needs. It's about customer needs. It's from the customer view. It's no surprise. No? We start with what are the needs of the customers? What are the needs of the actors we are targeting? An important thing is the description for this layer shouldn't be solution-dependent, solution-oriented description. This applies to the principle of product development also. Huh? The second layer is for customer value. Again, also from customer view. And the second layer is different from customer needs, okay? Because not all the needs are taken as a customer value for this particular PSS, okay? So one PSS usually doesn't address all the customer needs of a specific actor, right? So you need to differentiate between the first and second layers. And value in this case is defined as what I get as a customer for what I give as a customer. Huh? So it's a relation between the benefits and also benefits and investment. Okay. According to Taitahamo, 1988, very old literature, and it can be economic value, social value, technical value, environmental value. So anything beneficial should be described. Okay. By the way, this paper, Taitahamo 1988, offers 4 different types for the value definition. So 3 others are now at the top of this box. If you go to the upper option, then you see a narrower design space. The first one is defined as just low price or lower price. Huh? Then the only option you have is to decrease the price. Huh? It's a very narrow design space. The second one is only the benefit for a customer. And the third one is close to the definition you are choosing, but still it's more limited than that because the quality over price, that is about the third definition. And this is narrower than the definition you are choosing. Value is what a customer gets for what a customer gives. Okay? And then the third layer is exactly about the deliverables, what are really delivered from the provider to the customer in terms of materials or non-materials. It can be technical products, software, information, or knowledge. And here, you need to make a clear distinction between the second and third because not all the deliverable has a specific value but on its own. So it can be different deliverables which provide a specific value only with a combination. So the third layer plays as a sort of interface between the provider and customer. The first two layers are from the customer, and the third layer is an interface. And then the fourth phase layer and onward are mainly about the provider description. The fourth one is about lifecycle activities. So activities carried out along different phases. 5 actors who are involved: provider, customer, other suppliers, and other facilitators, etc. Core product. It's assumed that there is a core physical product in this case. 7th layer, sort of surrounding physical things around the core product. 8th, contractual element, if relevant. 9th layer is about the revenue model or charging scheme, right? So, any questions so far regarding the 9 layers? Yes, please.
Contract also involves payment.
Yeah, good. Yes, no worry. So the question is, yeah, that's okay. The question is the relation between the contract and revenue, and these are strongly correlated with each other, as you were thinking. You can start with the description of the 9th. What is the charging mechanism? For example, payment based on a use or use cycles, or payment based on the number of lengths in time. So that is, I think, more clear than the contractual issues. So meaning that the 8th layer is for the other aspects. For example, what will be the sort of obligations for the customer, for example. An example could be a product user must make a sort of a regular check or daily check for the condition of the core product. That could be included in the contract. Huh? Yep. So there are relations, as I have already mentioned some of them, but there are some relations between the needs and values. The values must support the needs of the target actor, and also the same sort of support relationships are existing for the other relationships. And so life cycle activities are realized by these elements. So meaning that the 9 layers are not independent of each other, but they are related and they are quite supportive to each other. Okay, and one can develop software like this with the interface and the easier handling of the information. And there is a possibility for further development with connecting other software packages and things like that. Huh? So I'm now giving one example of PSS offering. And I will show you the example description of this PSS offering using the layer method. Okay? So this slide shows you a summary of the PSS offering. It's provided by a manufacturer of this kind of huge mining equipment, mining or construction equipment. And in this photo, you're seeing drilling machine, for example, for a tunnel. And the services included in this offering are scheduled services and with the aim of performance maintenance. So the intended value of this offering is the performance of the drilling machine is maintained as high as needed by the customer. And the provider says to their customers that the productivity of drilling machines can be increased up to 10%, as well as the cost could be reduced for the consumables and spare parts like this. And inspection and overhaul are included, and in order to prevent the malfunction and downtime. And the warranty for the core product is sort of extended up to either 3 years or 3,000 running hours. So more information is available on the website, but for the interest of time, I will move to an example description of that offering. So customer needs could be they need high drilling performance, and also they want to focus on their core business, and also they have need on easier projection on their own cost or for using the drilling machine. And then here the targeted value of the customers is the productivity of the drilling machine and also the availability. And there are several other values, but one thing to be highlighted is reduction of economic costs. And in terms of information, recommendations regarding the operation is also seen as a value for the customers. So what are exactly delivered by the provider to the customer is, first of all, drilling equipment and warranty, cleaning equipment and original spare parts in time, and then early information on next maintenance, repair, overhaul, MRO activities, grease and oil, such consumables, and also service manual. Then lifecycle activities could be daily and weekly service procedures must be performed, and transport of spares and so on. And then here, who are involved? Drilling machine owner, drilling machine provider, service technician, operator, etc. And the product is a drilling machine and sort of system, and the peripheries are oil and other spare parts and monitoring and IT infrastructure and so on. Then the finance or the payment scheme is pay-per uptime, pay-per drilling machine, pay-per drilling hours operation. And a contract could be sort of a daily check needs to be done by the users, as I exemplified in answering your question. So this is a possible description, and I hope you can get a sense of how this method could be used, because you have a PSS offering for your own project, and then use those 9 layers to capture important aspects, important elements, so that you as project members in one project can share the idea and hopefully see the important, really important points of the PSS offering for improvement. So that's the intention. And in the upcoming tutorial, right after this lecture, you will hear more, and we will do more interaction with Q&As. No? So now I'm moving on to the temporal aspects, time dimension. So now one more sort of framework is used that is called customer activity cycle. It's from old literature, 1993, but I think this thinking embedded in this framework is very useful in nowadays too. So the idea is that the sort of customers concept evolved just from product buyers to product users, meaning that the use experience is more outspoken and highlighted. And then the customer activity typically consists of pre-use and in-use and post-use of the product. It's a temporal dimension, and you can describe the activities of the focal customer. So if you are, let's say, manufacturing company, and you have a customer, you manufacture an engine, let's say, and then an engine is designed and produced and shipped to your customer. And then the customer use the engine in one way or another in their own production system. For example, they produce an entire car by using your engine. So thereby, the customer has its own activity cycle. For example, design a new production line involving this engine, and then maintain the factory, and then design a new model, etc. But now, if you focus on producing the engine, then the focus is on the quality of the engine, and you don't have to look into the processes of the customer, because the interface between your company and the customer lies in the quality of the engine. And you don't have to necessarily bother the other things such as what customers do and so on. But now, you are seeing that there are opportunities if you look into the customer activities. For example, this kind of possible services are possible, no? So because you can help your customer in the installment, and also you can provide some maintenance activities, you can provide update and also consulting activities. I have given you a few examples in the previous lecture from the industrial cases that look like this. A company that used to be a sort of, let's say, traditional product sales company, but once they look into the customer's activities, and also once they make commitment to a part of the customer's activities, they start to get more, create more value to the customers, and also capture more value than before. And thereby, your company and the customer will increase the relationship between. Yeah? So, I would like to take any question that you may have for the layer method and customer activity cycle right now. And yes, question. Are you ready to use this layer method and customer activity cycle? You get a very simple Excel format. It's a spreadsheet where you find these 9 layers, and then I expect you to fill in each of the 9 layers on the Excel sheet. That's the concrete outcome of this specific part of this project. Again, as I said, we're starting with the most simple one, so that you will not lose the interest in the course. So, any question? Then I suggest that we take a break, and you open the Excel sheet.
Yes.
Yeah. Before the next tutorial starts.
Yes.
And let's do like that.
Yeah.
Okay?